One letter, one memory, one moment that changed everything. I lied to protect her and lost her forever. I met Emily in college. She sat next to me in English Lit, humming softly while underlining Sylvia Plath. I didn't speak to her for weeks, too captivated, too unsure. But one day she turned and asked, "Do you ever write poetry or just stare at mine?" That was the beginning. We fell in love slowly, then all at once. Coffee shops, late night walks, notes in margins. Emily believed in kindness and forever. And somehow she believed in me. I never thought I'd hurt her, but life has a way of turning even the purest intentions into regrets. We had 3 golden years. Her laugh became the soundtrack to my life. She painted hope into every space we lived in. Tiny apartments, cheap coffee tables, a leaky faucet we never fixed. I planned to propose after graduation. Emily got into med school in Boston. I was applying for jobs nearby. It felt like life was finally listening to us. But just before she left, the call came. My dad was sick, really sick. Cancer, stage 4. My world collapsed quietly. I didn't tell her right away. I couldn't. I didn't want to steal her dream with my storm. Dad's voice cracked when he told me. "It's aggressive," he said. "Don't tell your mother yet." I sat in the dark, phone pressed to my chest, breathing through panic. I was supposed to fly with Emily to Boston the next morning, help her move in, celebrate. Instead, I changed my ticket. I went home. She texted, called, left voicemails. I lied, said something about a family emergency, a delay, I'd catch the next flight. But every time I looked into my father's fading eyes, I knew I wouldn't leave again. Not now. Not when he needed me most. Emily left me 13 voicemails that first week. Some were cheerful, some confused, some on the edge of tears. "Call me back, okay? I just want to know you're all right." I listened to everyone, sometimes twice, but I never replied. I was drowning in grief and guilt. I told myself I was protecting her, sparing her the burden. She was starting something big, something beautiful. I couldn't drag her down with my sorrow. But silence, it turns out, speaks loudest. And I could feel her slipping away with every message I didn't answer. 3 weeks in, she showed up at my parents' house. I didn't know she was coming. She looked thinner, tired, but still so heartbreakingly beautiful. "What happened?" she asked. "Why are you avoiding me?" I froze. My heart screamed to pull her close, tell her everything. But my mouth betrayed me. "I don't want this anymore," I said. "Us. I can't do it." Her eyes widened, filling with disbelief, then pain. "You're lying." I didn't answer, just stood there and let her heart shatter. I thought I was saving her. I didn't know I was breaking something that wouldn't heal. What I wanted to say was this: my father's dying. I wake up every day not knowing if it'll be his last. I'm scared, Emily. I'm angry. I'm not strong enough to hold you and him at the same time. But I love you. God, I love you. But I said none of that. I let her walk away. I watched her drive off, her rearview mirror reflecting the boy who didn't deserve her. And then I went back inside and held my father's hand until he fell asleep. A quiet sacrifice, a coward's silence. The days bled into one another. Dad grew weaker. Mom pretended to believe in miracles. And me? I lived in a daze. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't stop hearing Emily's voice in my head. Especially the last thing she said, "You're not even man enough to tell me the truth." She was right. I was afraid she'd stay if I told her. Afraid she'd give up med school. Afraid I'd ruin her life by needing her too much. So instead, I ruined it by needing her in silence. Dad passed away 4 months later, peacefully at home. I held his hand, told him it was okay to let go. And after I stood at his funeral with a face made of stone, Emily didn't come. Of course she didn't. She didn't know. She thought I didn't want her. and by then it was too late to explain. How do you reach back through time and undo a lie? I tried to write to her, but every word felt hollow. I never sent the letter. I told myself she'd moved on, and I didn't deserve her forgiveness. Life went on, slowly. I moved back to the city, worked a job I didn't care about, dated people I couldn't love. Emily was always there, in the back of my mind. I'd type her name in search bars, stare at her photos. She looked happy, older, wiser, beautiful as ever. She had a new boyfriend. A doctor, I think. He looked like the kind of man who didn't lie. I never messaged her, never interfered. I watched her life from a distance, like someone watching the sun from behind glass, knowing it would burn if I got too close. One winter morning, I received a letter. No return address, just my name written in Emily's handwriting. My hands trembled. Inside was a single photo, us in college. Taped to the back a note. I still don't understand why, but I hope you're okay. E. I stared at it for hours. I wanted to write back, explain everything. But what could I say that didn't sound selfish or weak? So I folded it gently, placed it in a box I kept under my bed, filled with pieces of her I never really let go. 2 years passed. I visited Boston for a conference. On impulse, I walked past the hospital where she worked. I saw her through a window, in scrubs, hair tied back, laughing with colleagues. She looked radiant, fulfilled. That should have made me happy. Instead, I stood on the sidewalk, a ghost watching the living. I realized then, she didn't just survive without me. She thrived. My lie didn't break her, but it exiled me from a future I once held in my hands. I turned away before she could see me. I wasn't ready to be seen. Her birthday came. I remembered every year, always. I still had the bracelet I bought for her 24th. Never given, still wrapped. That year, I left it anonymously at the hospital front desk. No note, just a tag. For Emily. I never knew if she got it, or if she guessed it was me. It didn't matter. I just wanted her to have something from the life we almost lived. The life I let die with a lie and good intentions. That night I drank alone. Played the voicemail I never deleted. Her voice still soft, still mine. It happened in October. A mutual friend messaged me, "Hey, did you hear about Emily?" My chest tightened instantly. Car accident, late at night, rain. A truck ran a red light. She didn't make it. My world, already cracked, shattered. I didn't cry right away. I just sat there, frozen. Then I drove. 8 hours, no stops. I stood outside the funeral home, watching from across the street. I didn't go in. I didn't deserve to. That day, the world lost someone brilliant, and I lost the only person I ever truly loved. A week later, I found the courage to play her final voicemail again. It was from years ago. "Hey, I don't know what's going on, but I still love you. I think I always will. Just please don't disappear, okay?" She sounded tired, hopeful. I broke down finally, cried like a child, because I had disappeared. I thought I was being noble, protecting her from my pain. But the truth? I robbed us both, of time, of answers, of goodbye. And now all I had left were ghosts. I wrote her a letter, finally, not to send, just to say what I never did. I told her everything about Dad, about the fear, about how I loved her too much to ruin her future. I ended it with, "I thought I was saving you, but all I did was lose you. I'm sorry, Emily. I always loved you." I folded it, placed it in the same box with the photo and bracelet. A shrine of regret. Too late for redemption. Too late for us. But maybe, in some small way, it was a way to say goodbye. I finally visited her grave. It was a quiet afternoon. A breeze danced through the leaves like whispers. I brought white tulips, her favorite, sat there for hours, talked to her, told her everything about the ache, the memories, the dreams that still haunt me. I left the bracelet on the stone. It didn't feel like closure. There's no such thing, but it felt honest. And for once, I let myself be that. Even if she'd never hear it, even if it was just wind through the trees, it was all I had left to give. Some nights I dream she's still alive, that we meet again by chance, in a bookstore or a park. She smiles. I apologize. She forgives me. We walk, laugh, start again. But I always wake up, and the emptiness returns. The what ifs. What if I had told the truth? What if she stayed anyway? What if I believed she was strong enough to choose for herself? Regret is a quiet killer. It doesn't scream, it whispers, and it never stops. Her mother found a journal. She sent it to me. I didn't expect that. Inside were pages and pages about us. Poems, memories. A note, dated a year after we split. I think he lied. I think he was hurting. But I still wish he had trusted me with that pain. I closed the book with shaking hands. She knew. She always knew. And still, she hoped. That was Emily. Hopeful, loving, even when it broke her, even when it broke me. Sometimes I catch my reflection and flinch. I see the boy who lied, who loved too much, but not well. I see a man carrying a ghost on his back. Some people age from the outside. I age from within. Every wrinkle a sentence unsaid. Every gray hair a goodbye never spoken. I don't blame life, just myself. And maybe that's worse, because you can't escape yourself, not even in the mirror. They say first love fades, but ours didn't. It rooted deep, lived in the quiet corners, in music, in smells, in sidewalk cafes. I've loved since then, but never like that. Not with that innocence, that fire, that sense that the universe finally got something right. She was my once in a lifetime, and I let her go. No, I pushed her away, thinking I was noble. Turns out, nobility without honesty is just pride wearing a mask. A friend once said, love isn't about protecting someone from pain. It's about standing beside them through it. I wish I'd heard that when I was 23. Maybe I did, but I wasn't ready to listen. Now I carry those words like a scar, and maybe that's fair. Some lessons carve deeper than others, especially the ones that come too late. In one dream, we sit by the ocean. She's older, I'm older, but her smile hasn't changed. She leans her head on my shoulder, and I say, I'm sorry. She says, I know. Then a wave crashes. I wake up alone, but with salt on my face, not from the sea, but from tears. Sometimes when the wind moves just right, I swear I hear her laugh. It's not real, I know that, but I close my eyes anyway. Let it wrap around me. Let it take me back to campus, to bookstores, to the girl with the Sylvia Plath notes and the eyes full of wonder, to the boy who didn't know how to keep her, but loved her with every broken part of him. If I could go back, I'd tell her everything. I wouldn't lie, wouldn't protect her from love. I'd let her choose. I'd believe she was strong enough, because she was. She always was. It was me who wasn't. And maybe in the end, that was the real tragedy. She once gave me a watch, said, so you're never late again. I still wear it. It still works. But it doesn't tick like it used to. Now every second feels like a reminder of a time that's gone, of a chance not taken, of a girl I'll love until my last breath. Emily became a doctor, helped hundreds, maybe thousands. She left behind lives she touched, people she healed, a world better for her having been in it. And me? I tell our story, quietly, to anyone who'll listen, not for pity, but so no one makes my mistake, so they learn to speak, to stay, to trust love enough to be honest. Love is imperfect, it's messy, it's heavy, but it's not about shielding someone from your darkness. It's about letting them hold a light for you. I didn't understand that then. I do now. Too late, but still, some truths, even late, can light the way for others. It's been years. The world has changed. I've changed. But I still miss her. Every day. Not just who she was, but who we were. Who we could have been. She was the love of my life, and I let her go with a lie, thinking I was doing the right thing. But the truth, I'd give anything for one more chance to tell her everything.